Today is the 7th of May 2026 and I'm travelling to London to attend the Nesta event, How to Scale Social Innovation, Building a Delivery Network. Nesta is one of the UK's leading innovation foundations focused on social good. Nesta works to design, test and scale solutions to some of society's biggest challenges, bringing together researchers, policymakers, entrepreneurs and frontline organisations to create real-world change. Their mission is built around improving lives through innovation, tackling issues such as inequality, health, education, sustainability and social mobility. Rather than simply discussing problems, Nesta focuses on developing practical ideas, evidence-based solutions and long-term systems change that can improve outcomes for millions of people across the United Kingdom. Founded with support from the National Lottery, Nesta has evolved into a major force in social innovation, helping governments, charities, businesses and communities think differently about the future and how to solve complex social challenges. At today's event, an expert panel of speakers include Lord John Bird, the Big Issue founder and crossbench peer, Sian Jindal, Mission Manager for a Sustainable Future at Nesta, Bayo Adilajar, MBE CEO at Do It Now Now, and Sophie Tebbets, CEO at Food Cycle. The event will be chaired by Joseph Owen, Director of Policy at Nesta. I caught a bus and then a train from Bedlington in Northumberland to Newcastle Central. On the train toward Newcastle, I found myself reflecting on just how far this journey has come in such a short space of time. Just a few months ago, Exemplar Group existed only as an idea, a vision born out of struggle, lived experience, recovery, and the belief that pain could be transformed into purpose. Since launching at the Alnwick Gardens Business Festival back in January, that vision has started becoming something real. Sitting on that train, there was a genuine sense of anticipation and excitement. Not just about attending a Nesta event, but about stepping further into spaces I once never imagined I would belong in. Rooms filled with entrepreneurs, innovators, policymakers, and people trying to create change at scale. And then there was the possibility of meeting Lord John Bird, someone whose own story represents resilience, social entrepreneurship, and the power of second chances. The founder of The Big Issue built something that challenged the way society thinks about poverty, dignity and opportunity. For someone like me, coming from the background I've come from, that felt significant. As the landscape passed by outside the window, I kept thinking about how quickly life can change when purpose replaces survival. Exemplar Group is still in its early days, but moments like this feel important. Not because of status or prestige, but because they represent movement and growth. Evidence that it's possible to go from exclusion to contribution, from instability to building something designed to create impact for other people. At Newcastle Central, I boarded the train to King's Cross and settled into my seat to study the consultancy Bible. The Gospel. A market plan will move you forward. A business plan will kill you because you'll hit it. Success means having an evolving marketing plan that you tend to daily. Since many aspects of it are passive, you can take long vacations and still have it work for you. But success doesn't ever mean having a business plan, since these are notoriously inaccurate and become dismal, self-fulfilling prophecies. If you plan to increase your revenues by 20% or bring on 4 new clients or expand your virtual presence, you may just do that, at the expense of having done much more. You don't want to increase revenue by 20%. You want to maximize revenue, maximize new client acquisition, and expand your web presence. When I was being interviewed by the then CEO of State Street Bank for a $350,000 assignment, he said to me, "We've increased net new revenues by 22% compounded annually over my watch the last 5 years. Why do we need you?" In the next 3 seconds, I was going to make or not make $350,000 for me. I said to him, "How do you know it shouldn't have been 34%? He thought for just a moment, smiled, and then said, "You're hired." Let's return to a familiar refrain. Real wealth is discretionary time. Money is merely fuel for that wealth. Ironically, many consultants chasing after success are like dogs chasing cars. They probably aren't going to catch the car, and if they do, what are they going to do with it? Ironically, too many people are busy earning so much money that they are actually eroding their wealth. Now couple that premise with another tenet, TIAABB. There is always a bigger boat. The point isn't to have the most, it's to have what you need for your purposes, assuming those purposes will grow as you do. Families, interests, philanthropies, friends, and other involvements usually demand more and elevated support as one matures. When we vacationed in St. Barth a few years ago, every major slip in the inner harbour was occupied. 6 yachts that had to be worth $25 million each tied up bumper to bumper like Hondas in a supermarket parking lot. Out in the bay were a dozen more that couldn't fit in the inner harbour and couldn't be seen or appreciated. There is always a bigger boat. The point is to be able to acquire the right boat for you at any given time and move on to new ones when appropriate for your needs, not someone else's needs or ego challenges to you. I raise these attributes and philosophies of success early so that you can assimilate them as you learn the strategic and tactical approaches that follow in the chapters ahead. These are the generic parameters of success that I've observed and enjoyed over decades in this profession. These specific ones will depend on your lifestyle, your interests, and your intentions. Finally, the best way to achieve success by any measure in the consulting profession is to be a generalist, not a specialist. The hackneyed frame, specialize or die, sounds like New Hampshire's license plate motto, live free or die. Surely there is a middle ground. My refrain is generalize and thrive. It's a simple equation. The more prospective buyers you have, the more opportunity you have to close business. The more appealing you are to the more people, the more you will be sought. Once you start adding adjectives to your value propositions, you continue to narrow your field until it will fit on the head of a pin. Which of these 2 value propositions is more appealing to more people? We accelerate sales closing time while decreasing costs of acquisition. We accelerate sales closing time while decreasing costs of acquisition in the New England middle market mortgage lending space. The first will still interest the mortgage bankers, the second will interest only them. Between studying the consultancy Bible, its ideas, strategy, systems, and considering my vision for social change, I reminded myself to pause, to breathe, to become still, to meditate not only on ambition but on service, directing my thoughts outwards towards the people still struggling in silence today, the forgotten, the excluded, the ones trying to survive another night. As the countryside moved quietly beyond the train window, I allowed myself to simply be present. No noise, no performance, just observation, gratitude, reflection, and the recognition that sometimes clarity and vision come not from pushing harder, but from becoming still enough to truly see. I arrived at King's Cross and took a few moments to embrace London, its anonymity, its freedom, its opportunity, its history. There is a saying that goes, when you are tired of London, you are tired of life. I feel full of life and full of anticipation of the day ahead in London. I boarded the Underground at King's Cross and headed towards Finsbury Park to collect my friend. As I navigated the labyrinth of the Underground tube, I blasted Jimskin, Take It Back.
We're taking it back.
Let us retract on the pain because each other so long, yeah.
Oh, get the drinks in where we all linking. If they end 10-10, we ain't meeting. In that big boy whip, I'll be speeding. 4-wheel drive, yeah, you know I'll be leaving. Yeah, I'll make it look easy. Can't put your hand out for no freebies. 5'5", small waist, yeah, sweet VVS ones on the bezel like Fiji. You know me, bro, I get it in daily. And I can't lie, love feeling wavy. To a hater, my lifestyle's crazy. Big gym skin, yeah, I live it up daily. I made dough from the socials, and I still get love from the locals. I'm a Cockney boy, yeah, I'm old school. Now pass me the bill, what's the total? Oi, yo, where's the next club? Don't worry if your ex just text ya. Girl, you're safe with me, I protect you. Cause baby, I'm a business and I'm a director. I can't lie, bro, I'm living quite comfy. Making 5 figures, sometimes that's monthly. My name's known all over the country, and I get paid while I sleep, that's lovely. But don't think that I ain't put the graft in. I had no handouts when I started. For the success, I was starving. Built an empire on my own, now I'm laughing. And I know that you heard of us. Step in the club and we turn it up. And I'll never be the first to cut. And if I do, I'm in a gaff eating Turkish grub.
Let's take it back to a time when we were so much in love, baby.
And if I do, I'm in a gaff eating Turkish grub.
Let us retract on the pain because each other so long, yeah.
Now I'm in the booth, bring me the vodka. Don't worry, baby, you know that I got ya. I can't lie, you're the one that I'm on top. On the dance floor, yeah, showing off your posture. And I drink this body like it's Volvic. And my face is bait like showbiz. I'm in the middle of something, didn't you notice? What you mean by that? I just posted. I ain't one for the chit chat. I tell a hater, sit back. When you comments on my post, admit that. What you mean by that? What you mean by that? Magnum bottle, can you lift that? I ain't into the riff-raff. Being broke, I don't miss that. What you mean by that? What you mean by that? Everybody in the dance gets dancing. Off-white crossing my back like a target. More bottles of we just getting started. Girls come over, let me fill up your glasses. Yeah, I grew up in a concrete jungle. That's why I'm still grateful and humble. She knows to do my thing, I'm not some fool. Babe, I don't bite if you wanna just come talk. Yeah, I only talk nothing but truth. Every single time I step up in this booth, I'm the one to bring the vibes to the room. Real, recognize rule, yeah, there's nothing to prove. Let's get moving, get the boozing. On the dance floor, girl, I see you grooving. And you know you're the one that I'm choosing. Yeah, I stay winning, baby, girl, I'm never losing.
Let's take it back to a time when we were so much in love, baby. Ooh.
Yeah, I stay winning, baby, girl, I'm never losing.
Let us retract on the pain because
I arrived at Finsbury Park, then made my way to the King's Head pub to collect my friend before heading to Victoria Embankment for the Nesta event.
Say we're moving straight to the top. Say we're moving non-stop. Yes, we're moving straight to the top. Like an express train traveling non-stop. Obstacles and stumbling block. Yes, we are gonna turn back that. Nothing stays in our way. It is not their day today. Cause we're moving. Oh yes, we're moving. Say we're moving. Oh yes, we're grooving. Say we're moving straight to the top. Say we're moving non-stop. Say we're moving straight to the top. Like an express train traveling non-stop. Watch your reel while I clear my wheel. I'm not bragging, this is for real. We're coming like a well-oiled machine, bubbling, 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 bubbling on the scene. We're moving. Oh yes, we're moving. We're moving, and we are grooving. So we're moving straight to the top, top. Yes, we're moving, moving non-stop. So we're moving, moving to the top. So we're moving, moving non-stop. Feel free. Ride with me, feel free. Ride with me. There is no partiality, no partiality. If your hands are clean and your heart is pure, don't you hesitate, just get on board. Cause we're moving. Oh yes, we're moving.
So I've arrived here at Victoria Embankment at the location of the Nesta event, and so often in business, startups and also businesses that are trading and often trading successfully struggle to scale their organizations. And my experience with projects and building things, and as is the experience of entrepreneurs and businesses that are trading, the growth in a business creates complications and problems, and then those complications and problems stem and diminish the growth if the problems that have arisen are not handled tactfully. So I'm here at the Nesta event. We have the panel of expert speakers chaired by Nesta's Director of Policy and Partnerships, Joe Owen. Lord John Bird, MBE, founder of The Big Issue, is one of the expert speakers, as is Sian Jindal, Mission Manager for Sustainable Future at Nesta, and Bayo Adilaja, CEO and founder of Do It Now, and also Sophie Tebbett, CEO of Food Cycle. So I'm now going to go into the event, listen to the speakers, network, meet people, and then when I come out later on this evening after 8 o'clock, I'll offer some thoughts and reflections on the evening's event. So I'll see you on the other side. All the best. Upon arrival at the event, the hall was full and the speakers were being recorded by professional camera people for YouTube. Mission Manager at Nesta, Sian Jindal, spoke about scaling and the importance of establishing if the contact in industry or government can offer the need you are looking for, and the fact that the conversation with industry may well be very different from the conversation with government. Therefore, it is crucial to ascertain what the values are of the related industry or government to ensure alignment or adaptation. In answering questions from the floor, the expert speaker panel narrative evolved toward the notion that many of the best businesses are run and led by inspirational people. And so the question was raised as to how we ensure scaling doesn't dilute the mission or the purity and DNA of the original genesis of the lived experience leadership at inception. Bayo Adilaja, MBE CEO at Do It Now, argued this can be achieved by recognizing that everyone has their own story and to consistently remind oneself of this fact. Bayo went on to articulate her own lived experience in scaling successfully, reflecting on the moment she herself became a full-time employee of a company where she was then no longer a service user. So she tried her very best to help people in moving forward, and this was, she testified, unbelievably difficult. It was so hard to show up to events to win awards when she didn't even have stable accommodation at the time. Those with lived experience can continue to be triggered or re-traumatized, whether as a service user or as a social entrepreneur. So deep empathy is very important, as is our language and delivery approach toward these people. Bayo concluded her argument with clear intent that as a now CEO, she never takes feedback for granted from service users and aspiring entrepreneurs with lived experience. Sophie Tebbett, CEO at Food Cycles, spoke about the challenge of doing frontline service in that you often feel like you are simply applying sticking plasters to problems and are not resolving the source of the problem. This is certainly my experience with criminal justice and working alongside experienced middle and senior managers within HMPPS on issues such as reducing violence and self-harm in prison, as well as advancing the arts in criminal justice to inspire desistance. So much of our work together often felt like we were only addressing the symptoms of the problems while the source of the problems perpetuated and continued to influence ineffective criminal justice outcomes for both survivors of crime, offenders, as well as HMPPS staff and society as a whole. The time for innovation with criminal justice in modern Britain is now. The vision of Exemplar Group seeks to empower individuals, systems and institutions to transform, heal and grow by way of innovation. The expert speaker panel was chaired very competently and skillfully by Director of Policy at Nesta, Joseph Owen. Yet I found myself utterly transfixed by Speaker Lord John Bird, founder of The Big Issue. Both Lord John Bird's passion and testimony to me were potent and captivating. Lord John Bird spoke about challenging the culture and classism in the House of Lords, articulating his history with raising awareness of homelessness and addiction. John spoke of the importance with being a social entrepreneur of telling a story, of being that story, driving your venture for social change and linking and connecting the solution as close as possible with the people enduring the problem. Lord John Bird spoke about scaling the big issue globally and the importance of identifying your non-negotiables throughout scaling. John said he ran into big problems such as big egos who told him, "I'm better at this than you." He tried to create a franchise model where he would give them the model, then they go in and do it. The operation was like pulling teeth. And the principal reason social entrepreneurship is so small is because we haven't learned the simple ability of being humble. We nailed scaling and international distribution, but I always insisted that the person on the street paid for the paper. Lord John Bird testified his big issue social enterprise was influenced by his own existence. Growing up amid deep poverty, periods of institutional care, homelessness and exclusion. So he wanted to empower the homeless to transcend the class system. The idealism, every person we help must become our neighbours. They must become people we can bring into our homes or who could marry our children. We must move away from the us and them. The storytelling and lived experience is so important, and we must chip away at the supremism in our society, and we must aspire to an egalitarian society. Lord John Bird then spoke about the difficulty of getting lived experience people into your organisation and discussed how very difficult it is to retain them because they often move on to other things. This experience is an experience also testified by Lord James Timpson at his organisation Timpsons. Lived experience is the cornerstone of the big issue, which started with John's own lived experience. But he testified we do need balance. Lord John Bird then went on to talk about his passion for tackling poverty with his Ministry for Poverty Prevention Bill in the House of Lords. The bill proposes creating a dedicated ministry for poverty prevention, effectively a permanent government department focused specifically on preventing and reducing poverty rather than only reacting to its consequences. The bill would also create binding poverty re-education targets, require government reporting on poverty, related spending, embed long-term prevention into public policy, and would also hold future governments accountable for reducing poverty levels. Lord John Bird was clear that we must accept we don't have all the answers, and until we fix poverty, our hospitals and institutions will be full and the streets will be full of the homeless, and drug addiction will still be prevalent and widespread. And why aren't Oxbridge finding solutions for poverty if they're so clever? Out of the last 29 Prime Ministers since Gladstone, 20 of them went to either Oxford or Cambridge. They have great minds, but none of them appear to be able to fix poverty. Near all of our good intentions for society are undermined or ruined by poverty. We have to believe in the impossible, and in my own personal study of leadership, I have learned that the best leaders do believe in the impossible, and the best leaders inspire their teams and people to believe in the impossible, and that the most effective teams are led by great leaders who together achieve great things and make the impossible possible. At Exemplar Group, our future growth and social impact is rooted in transforming pain into purpose. There is so much pain, exclusion, and unrealized potential in the world, and often some of the greatest strength, insight, and talent exists within those who have endured the deepest struggles. The vision of Exemplar Group is to help people reconnect with belief in themselves, to recognize that their experiences do not have to define the limits of their future, and that hardship can be transformed into leadership, service, and positive contribution. The very DNA of Exemplar Group is to inspire transformation and self-belief within those who feel broken-spirited, to remind people that their lives still carry value, potential, and purpose, and that they are capable of achieving far more than the limitations once placed upon them. As Exemplar Group continues to grow, the mission will remain grounded in lived experience, humility, empathy, and meaningful social impact. The aim is not simply to build an organization, but to help create pathways for people to move from survival toward purpose, stability, growth, and leadership within their own communities. As Exemplar Group evolves and scales, one of the greatest challenges will be remaining deeply connected to the lived experience that shaped its very inception. Retaining people with lived experience within growing organizations is not always easy. Many move forward into new chapters of life, leadership, and opportunity, yet perhaps that in itself is part of the mission. The long-term vision is not simply to build services, but to help develop future leaders whose experiences, insight, and resilience continue to shape the DNA, direction, and humanity of Exemplar Group as it grows. So I've left the event. I'm now at Victoria Embankment by the River Thames. You can see the Thames there in the background, the London Eye, and a few buildings there and a bridge. And I'm just humbled and inspired. That was a very productive and eventful evening, both for myself as a social entrepreneur and also for Exemplar Group, and the vision for Exemplar Group to continue to advance on empowering systems, individuals, and institutions to heal and transform and grow, rooted in lived experience, my lived experience. I'm humbled to have met Lord John Bird, the founder of The Big Issue, and his family, his wife and his son, and a CEO who works for him. And yeah, just so empowering, and to still see the passion in Lord John Bird radiating from him, and to hear him talk about poverty in this country in such a way, and our failure as a state and as a nation and as a society and in our political leadership to fix this problem, which continues to fill our hospitals, our institutions, our streets with the homeless. There's a lot to ponder on and think about and reflect on from this evening. Very eventful, very productive. I'm grateful to be here, and I'm going to go and catch my train now. I've had a long day. I've been up since 4 o'clock this morning, and yeah, if you're trying to be an entrepreneur yourself, you know, put the work in, get out there, build your confidence, go to networking events, because it can just take one relationship, one contact, which can change things for you and help you. There is help and support out there. I was offered a lot of help and support this evening. I'm very grateful to be here, and very humbled, inspired, empowered. Lots to think about. I'll maybe do some more reflections on the train home and touch base with you all then. But in the meantime, that's it from me at Victoria Embankment at the Nesta event with Lord John Bird, the founder of Big Issue. I'll leave it there for now and just say, look after yourselves and each other and all the people you care about. Believe in yourself, walk tall in confidence, faith and peace. Be the best that you can, and leave everything on the pitch, win, lose or draw, on a daily basis, and believe in yourself, because you can do it. And if I can get through what I got through and survived and come out the other side and thrive and shine and achieve, then whatever you're going through, you can too. So all the best, and I'll leave it there from Exemplar Voices, field notes, vlog, all the links, the usual links are in the description. All the best. Bye-bye. For years I had dreamed of walking alongside the River Thames, and now all of a sudden that dream had become reality. As the lights of London shimmered across the water and the glow of the Thames reflected against the night sky, I tuned in to beautiful tango and allowed myself to fully absorb the moment, the freedom, the atmosphere, the anticipation, and the quiet recognition of just how far life had travelled. Yet even in that moment of gratitude and reflection, my thoughts remained connected to those still enduring struggle within the criminal justice system, those living behind prison walls, those trapped in cycles of addiction and instability, and also the staff working daily under immense pressure within institutions carrying extraordinary human weight.
Beautiful tango, take me by the hand. Beautiful tango, oh, until you make me dance. How sweet it can be if you make me dance. How long will it last, baby, if we dance? Come to the world, come to the world, and baby, let me show you things. 'Cause time is running and we can't lose. Baby, come and dance. dance, we gonna make it through, 'cause we've got time. Yes, we've got time. Beautiful stranger, don't wanna know your name. Beautiful stranger, oh, just take me by the hand, 'cause how sweet it can be if you make me dance. How long will it last? Oh baby, if we dance. Come to the place where the skin speaks the secret words in Spanish, where the night turns out the lights of day, for us to show some courage. So don't go if you wanna know, don't go if you don't know, don't go if you wanna know, don't go, don't go, don't go. Beautiful stranger, take me by the hand, make me dance all night. I wanna take a chance, 'cause I love the way you move and the way you put your hands on my hips. I'm moving while you take it slow, makes me feel like I'm on a river flow. 'Cause we've got time, and yes, we've got time. Beautiful stranger, I wanna lose my mind. Beautiful stranger, in the danger of your arms. Oh, beautiful stranger, I wanna lose myself. Beautiful stranger, in the danger of your arms.